This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty. This is your daily market review for Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great day. The Tuesday action, as we talked about, potentially could be the chop action. I am anticipating more down in time. Let's talk about what to expect, how to play it, what levels to watch, and just be a better trader. Be better every day. That's the goal, right? So, knowing what's going on, we've talked about this rally just kind of being a fluff rally based on the idea that Feds are going to cut rates quicker. If you go look at the Fed Fund futures, it's November. That's the first rate cut. We know the recession is coming. We know unemployment's rising. We know everything is everything. Feels very much like 2008 going into the election, where the market just eventually died, chopped around. And again, there was not much upside, but there was a ton of downside, and we started bleeding down in time. It only got worse as the Feds cut rates. So could this be a choppy, sloppy year? I mean, I don't know. It's just going to be a trader's market until, in my opinion, until it does melt. Because I think the obvious thing is it will. So if you have any questions, check out the Discord room. Link in the description below if you need to buy, sell, invest in real estate. Come on, turn profits into properties and passive income. That's the goal, y'all. That is the goal. Let me know how I can help. Hit me up on Twitter. Oh man, come on, update. Got a lot of things going on here, watching these things, posting the trades. If you want to chat, hit me up on Zoom or Calendly. We'll have a little Zoom chat. So check out the website, tradingagent.com. Check your recommend reading, all the fun stuff. Investment broker, secure investment. And also follow, hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching. Again, check out the educational videos. They're on my website and on YouTube. What are you waiting for? If you have questions, again, don't hesitate to reach out. See me watch tool. Again, let's just refresh this, because right now, 43%. Again, that's November is when the first cut is supposed to be coming. Yeah, still around 43%. That's a long ways away, yo. Yikes. Bitcoin chopping, making lower lows, lower highs. I mean, it's got to get over 67,000, or this is just another choppy, sloppy downward movement in time. Oil, smoke down. And again, I don't think there's much longer term or downside, demand destruction. But is there going to be negative futures prices? Not probably so. I mean, again, we have to refill the SPR. Natural gas, again, love this trade. Upside looks amazing. We've talked about this. Favorite trade. Not be surprised, though, if it does pull back. Market gets weakness. VIX explodes. However, if you took trades down here, define your risk, roll up your trades, stops. Congrats. Dollar building back after the weak jobs number. Gaps down on Friday, building right back. Again, the world is kind of a crazy place right now. I don't trust it at all. TLT, as we talked about. All right, lower rates. Got to hold the 20-day. Interesting action today. Look at where it just instantaneously failed. Next level, it's got to get over to the 91s. Be careful, okay? Zavix. Talking about this gap fill. I mean, it seems very likely now at this point. I mean, I'm mind boggled, but again, we get the gap fill. We get the Vivek starting to base down here. This makes sense. Watch the 3-day range, because again, I think there's a lot of downside risk in the market versus upside. Because here's the thing, right? We talk about the first dip usually gets bought. Now you get this dip and then chop. First dip below the 20-day of significance. We talked about this. Now, is it going higher than I thought? I mean, again, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm perfect and can't be wrong. No, that's interesting to me. I mean, I'd be watching, again, this gap here, 520. I mean, could we get to 520? I don't know. It's all on fluff. Just keep that in mind. Be careful out there. QQQQQ had no upside today, 440. Again, a little higher than we thought, but I'd be watching this area, 442, the top of that big candle bar with high volume. Keep an eye on IWM. Again, if you took shorts today in the indexes, I love it. I mean, look at that gap fill. I mean, to a T, y'all. Look at this. And this is why you follow the channel. This is why you draw, your lines and your gaps. You know your gaps. Please mind, again, as I like to say, please mind the gap. There you go. Hit rejected. DIA, this has been lagging. We've talked about this one for a while. Look at lag. Leading. Gold. As much as I would love to see the 20-day, I don't know if we're getting there. Again, I like the downside in silver metals. Again, long term, no. Short term, yes. Zero doubt. my opinion. GDX, again, we like the dust down here in the 7s. Like the references, GDXJ again, because they will just throw the baby out with the bathwater. And when you've seen it and you've been in minors, you've been trading them for 20 plus years, you see how it goes. AG, man, be watching that gap. 748. Royal Gold is one we kind of pay attention to, chopping at the highs. Again, a lot of these names, right? AEM has been a boss, chopping at the highs. I mean, I've seen a lot of similar action. Newmont gapped up on earnings. Again, gave it back, chopping, pass, chopping at the highs. We see the kind of reoccurring theme here. So be careful, okay? Taiwan Semi, yeah, I mean, I'm just dumbfounded this isn't at $70, but okay. Back in the, I don't know, chop range stuck. Micron, 2-day range. I mean, here you go. This is where the kind of stuff that you watch for. 2-day ranges. Is it based off of, yep, exactly. Like these candles, watch this area. I mean, if it gets over, you can go with it. If it fails here, it's an absolute easy short with defined risk. AMD, this thing has been a toast. Drew the lines on NVIDIA. Again, I like the short up here. I don't know if that was some improper trades. I don't feel like that's legit. But watching this 920s, SMCI, again, I like them long term. I mean, their numbers, their earnings seem pretty good, but I'm not going to buy this after this huge move. It's got to digest. I mean, I would not be surprised too if it gets smoked down to the 200-day at some point. Intellectual property, dog. Ruff, 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 ruff. Adobe, gaps down on earnings, leads down, hits an old term trend line, dead cat bounce. Again, people are like, every day has to be down. It's like, no. Apple, the fruit, gaps up on earnings, hits the trend line, watching any bounces for shorts. I mean, I would love to hit the trend line. 185 plus to me with defined risk is the easy trade. Amazon, holding up pretty darn well, riding the lightning as I call it, upper trend line. Meta, got over some of the short entries today. Didn't do anything because I'm like, all right, market's holding up. I'd really like to see now that, because this is what's kind of stupid. I'm going to expand this box because, again, this is kind of the range low. Includes this high volume high, range lows, and the 20-day. I was kind of watching and saying, like, well, all right, just let's see what happens when it gets up in the 470s. I like the 460s, but I'm not also one of those people that's just going to jump right on it all in. Just going to watch. CRM, 20-day. Google, nice little rally today for these guys. Watching the gap fill. I mean, these are things that, again, I need to draw this, but I love drawing it live so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Like, look for the gap fill here and then see what happens. Now, could it chop here for a few days? Always. Ugh, that's not a straight line, but whatever. You see the point. Microsoft talked about 415, right? 414. I don't know. Again, here's another not so straight line. I mean, I'm watching this stuff. I mean, is it? I don't know, it's like again, your goal is as good as mine. Just be careful. Just be careful. Everyone's like, oh, I gotta jump on it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, again, whenever you layer into trades, just dabble in them. NDAQ pops, give it back. MicroStrategy again. I mean, it's leading Bitcoin down, in my opinion. This is a dead cat bounce, 20-day. Let's see what happens here. I mean, this area is really important. If it can base here and then break out, great. If it doesn't, it's probably going back to the 100-day minimum. Maybe back down to this level down here, the 850s to 900 range. Netflix and chill. Again, we talked about it getting up and filling the gap. Here you go. Watching this area. I know some of the homies in the Discord room looking for the short. Watch it. Roblox. Again, also don't have to be early on it. Quick. Hitting 100-day. I mean, this is interesting. Again, I like them long term. I just don't trust them. Pan W, we talked about, post today. Like, what happens when it hits the 100-day? Gets over it, comes back. Again, this is the only long I like because Pelosi's buying cyber issues, and I'm all about it. She knows what's up. Good old Tesla. Ugh. Dead money. Better hold this 176 area. Pops on its China news, and then it gives it all right back. DraftKings, nice trade at the 45s. Again, this is why you wait for retest and chop. This is kind of the mojo of the market, right? V tops, V bottoms, very rare. There you go. Boom. Boom. Airbnb, I think, do they have earnings? No, tomorrow. Watching it, I would not play this. Costco, freaking China rip, right? Whoa. Gap fill. No reason to step in front of that beast. Here, speaking about beast, look at, man, Starbucks. This thing should bounce down here, but it's just a dog. Ugh. Federal Express, gaps up on earnings. Look at it. It's just trending lower. And again, this consolidation downtrend, like trending area, could lead to bigger because now it's like you're chopping around. Like all those candles, you gap up, close the low day. Gap up, close the low day. Really interesting, right? Caterpillar watching the 20-day, this 350s area. Set some alarms, new core. We like steel, but let it come in. Let it come in. X, as we talked about, is a buyout target in my opinion. I don't know who it is, but I just think, again, let it come down and then it makes sense. VALE, we've talked about VALE forever. It's Brazil, materials names. We like it down here. It's trading probably at some like 2 or 3 PE, but again, I let the baby with the bathwater. People are going to say, hear that. Maybe I might have to say that for months, but I don't want to chase long-term and disappear and then all of a sudden see massive corrections like we're expecting. TCJ or Arrow. Now you got CCJ. Again, this is another one you love, but I hate when Goldman Sachs upgrades at the high. Look at this action. It double tops again. Again, I'm not saying run out and short it, but I'd be watching it. If you have profits in it, please roll up your stops. CF gaps down. Again, we like ag. Like ag a lot. You've got to eat. But let them chop around at the lows. We talked about Mosaic. Probably due to bounce. It's a nice little trade. We got 27, maybe up to 33. All these things are just going to be probably range bound until the market does what it next move down. NTR, same kind of thing. XLF pops today. Back up here. Let me zoomer. A zoom. Watching this like a hawk. Watching this area. Could we fill the gap? I don't know. It's a little wide of a gap, but I'm keeping an eye on it. Again, long term, I'm trying to express the idea of shorting long term, using the leverage ETF, selling calls, and then reducing your cost basis, and then just letting it ride out. JP Mo. Looking like it's what it's been doing. Just chop. Stanley Morgan trying to break out. Keep an eye on it. Bank of America. Chopping at the highs. Again, it's a good reference for short, especially some people in the Discord room. Get a Marcus account. Goldman at 52-week all-time highs. They ain't going out of business. Again, why it's rallying? Curious. Again, we might figure that out later. Remember, you don't know until sometimes the news comes. XBI we talked about. This is a risk-on play in the market. Was oversold. 3-day range. Chopping. Starting to see some of the risk-on market names getting a little tired now. Solar. Little bounce, same kind of thing. Sedge, right? Keep an eye on it. These things, anything major bounces. I'm just kind of scrolling through them. There's no major bounces. ENPH, no. But first, solar getting interesting. We say, look what happens when it gets up into this range. You've got some hammers up here. MC hammer time. I'd be watching this now for a short with a tight stop. Remember, or not tight. You got to be careful with first solar because it's wide and loose. HYG, 3-day range. Again, people just jumping in to HYG in corporate debt. You got to be high as a mofo. Oil, again, near term, it's hard. Geopolitically, again, I would not short it. But again, if you had gains, take profits. Natural UNG, again, I hate UNG, but we talk about it's due to bounce. If you traded it, cool. I like the KOLD for sure because it's decaying. Decay, melt down. Come on. Right? Anything up in the 70s, 80s, mid-70s. Oof. XOP, we talked about oil and gas names leading down after leading up. This pops backing up to the 20-day. It looks like a downtrend, right? No, it is a downtrend, it looks like. ExxonMobil. Again, we'll talk about the gasoline names in a second leading down. But look, ExxonMobil tries to break out new highs. Chopping around. Keep an eye on it. CVE, we like this one long-term on pullbacks. This thing has been a J Solstice special. Again, some of you guys in the Discord, I appreciate so much you posting. I asked today, what's your favorite trade? Again, I don't mind giving credit where credit is absolutely due for some of you guys are appreciated highly. Valero, we talked about gasoline names leading down, right? They lit up, peaked first, chopping. Because if gasoline demand destruction is coming, these are going to show it. This name's not looking so good, right? Occidental, we talked about Buffett playing the big range. Everyone just gets mad at me. I'm like, just zoom out. The guy loves to sell calls and then he'll sell puts on big moves down in premium expansion, VIX expansion. EQT, again, I like this on pullbacks. I like Flex LNG too, really do. Because I think long-term we will be natural gas exporters. All right, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm always here to help. Going to be out of town mid-next week for the weekend. Going to go see some friends and hang out in the Charlotte area, Asheville, Boone. If you're around, hit me up. Again, if you have any questions about real estate, it's an interesting time because if rates go down, you seller folks that may have been trapped might be able to get out. Buyer folks might be able to lock in some lower rates. Again, I don't know the right answer for your particular market, but let me find you an amazing agent. Go check my reviews. This is my job. I love interviewing other agents to bring them in. Because if you go to Zillow and Realtor.com and you pick some random jabroni off the street, you have no idea what their skill level is, how they're going to find you deals. Can they find you off-market deals? Are they willing to make phone calls? Are they willing to do the hard work like I am and my team to find you a great agent and put you in a position to make money in real estate? Or if you need to sell your house and max out your equity. All right, always here to help. See you guys later.